Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about my coloring goals for 2019, and I thought what better way or set to talk about it than while I color something. So what I'll be coloring in for this video is the Time Garden by Daria Song, and I'll be working on these two pages that are kind of like a double page spread, but kind of not. Because I realized as I was reading her little story here, this is the day setting and this is the night setting. And I'll be using my Prismacolors. So I'll be using Caribbean Sea number 1103 and Indigo Blue number 901. So I'll just get right into it. So the first goal is kind of a coloring goal and an artistic goal at the same time. So last year I released a coloring book called Flowers, Fairies, and Birds, and then I started working on a second one that I want to release this year. So that's my first coloring book. My first coloring goal is to release a new coloring book, and that'll be probably in a couple of months, and it's all jewel themed, so I'm really excited about it. The next goal that I want to talk about is experimenting with other media, because I kind of noticed that I usually only stick to the same kind of media, so I mainly just use my color pencils and markers. Sometimes I'll use gel pens. So one thing I really want to branch out with is using acrylic more, my watercolor paints more, experimenting with things like ink tints and new colors, which I've never used before even in my whole artistic journey. So that's something that I want to do. And if you guys have any recommendations for types of media I should try out, let me know in the comments below, because I really want to start branching out more. And that kind of goes hand in hand with my next goal, which is to practice new techniques. Because kind of as I said before, I use marker and then pencil on top of that, or just pencil. And so I want to, try using more, using different media together, using different techniques to get different effects, because I feel like each type of artistic media has its own strength, and so when you use all those together, you can really achieve the vision that you have. And so that's what I want to work on, is branching out a little bit, even if it's just like something as simple as using polychromos and Prismacolors in the same page, which I haven't really previously done before. And so, like, another amazing thing about goals is you can take huge steps or baby steps. So using different pencils on the same page is a baby step that can lead me to a bigger step. Another goal that I have is to complete a coloring book. And I know that's not a super realistic goal, but if I make that goal, then I'll get closer to achieving it. So I just think it would be so awesome to have a coloring book that I've done all the pictures in, that I can, just look through and enjoy the art and my interpretation of it. And so I'm still trying to for sure decide, but as of right now, the book that I'm thinking of trying to complete this year is Phantomorphia by Kirby Rosannes, just because it's a bit more of a smaller, manageable size. And I've already worked on some of the pictures last year. And another reason is I have other books of his, so if I finish it, it's not going to be as sad as when when you finish the last book in a saga or the last episode, it's not going to be like so sad parting with coloring in it, because I'll have more of his work to color in his other books. And I feel like that book also, even though it still has an immense amount of detail, it's not as overwhelming as some of the other books that he has, or just as some coloring books have in general. So that's a goal that I know I'm not going to reach this year, but I want to get as far as I can with it. Another goal that I made is to participate in more coloring challenges. When I first got into coloring, that's something that I found a lot of fun in, because I was able to see kind of a theme of what other people like to color, and it also made it easier for me to decide. At least one picture was easier to decide what I wanted to color, because there was a theme with the challenge. And I think it's also just a great way to be a part of the coloring community, to participate that way. And I don't think I've done a coloring challenge since the summertime, so that would be really fun to get back into. Another goal that I have, and you'll kind of see this theme of branching out, and it's just to be more brave. So if that means choosing a color combination that I normally wouldn't, or trying a technique that I don't know will work, or that I've never have done before, I think that'll be really good, because you don't know if it's going to work all the time until you try. My next goal is just simply to be more positive, because I feel like a lot of times we're very critical of ourselves and of others. Like, I've seen a lot of videos, and I'm guilty of this myself, where I'll be showing flip-throughs or videos of pictures that I've colored, and I'll critique myself, or I'll really heavily critique the artist. I just want to be more positive with how I view my coloring, because for me, coloring is a way to unwind and to express myself creatively without having to be perfection of myself. Then I think it'll be a lot more enjoyable, and I'll be able to have more fun and ability to experiment with it. And also just being more positive about how other people decide to color, and I'm usually a positive and encouraging person with other people, but I feel like I can be more expressive that way because when we share our coloring pages, we're kind of sharing a vulnerable side of ourselves. And so I think it's important that we're positive with each other and with ourselves. My next goal is to practice doing skin and hair more with pencils. Because I don't have a lot of experience. Oh my gosh, experience. I don't have a lot of experience doing skin and hair with dry media. So that's something that I want to improve because I feel like it has a lot of potential. I'm pretty used to doing hair and skin with paint, but that's not always possible on coloring pages. And I feel like pencils do an amazing job on, with paper to accomplish that. So that's something I want to work on. And my last goal is to color in a book that intimidates me because, well, we all have those books where we love the art in it so much that we don't want to ruin it. That we feel like we'll mess up. And that's the same for me. I have a few that I can think of off the top of my head, like Serene by Nick Filbert, and also Irene by him. And also another one for me is Momo Girl, just because it's all, subject matter, so it's all girls, which entails doing hair and skin, which, as my last goal shows, I need to work on and I want to work on. So hopefully all these different goals that I have will help me to achieve that last goal in coloring in books that intimidate me, and also just being able to enjoy the experience and have fun and be able to share my fails and my successes with you guys so that you can also do things that are outside of your comfort zone and learn that there's no cookie cutter way to do something. And I think that's one thing that I love about adult coloring is there aren't really any rules. There are successful and unsuccessful ways of doing things, but there is no rule, really. If you want to paint on CreateSpace paper, you can do that. If you want to use Prismacolors on CreateSpace paper, you can do it. There's no rule saying that's wrong or it's not look good if you do that. Okay, so that was all of my goals, and I only got this window pane colored in, and I think I'll stop there just because this video is getting on the longer side now, but I would be curious to know what some of your goals for this year are, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Happy coloring!